I just wanted to touch on a topic here. Um, right now I'm testing basically, um, this J111 JFET, right? And the data sheet says this has a minimum, 20 milliamps IDSS, and um, and some of these apparently can go up to 120 milliamps. I wanted to show you that, what happens. I got it on my little test fixture there. It's at 15 milliamps at 2 volts. I got the VGS shorted, so um, let me show you what happens to the current and notice the wattage too. At 12 volts, it's 86 milliamps. In fact, it's 98 milliamps at 16 volts, drawing over a watt. So, and it's rated at 600 milliwatts. So you couldn't even, use this thing. I mean, it's even fairly warm just after that little test. I definitely could not test this on the analog discovery. It's just simply out of the question. It can't generate voltages like that. It can't generate currents like that. And, so there's not too terribly much you could do to actually test the thing with an analog discovery. It just points out that, you can't test all JFETs. I just made this series of videos to prove that you can test them, but yeah, if you have certainly an extreme JFET like this, but even if it wasn't so extreme, there's a lot of JFETs that have, a maximum, IDSS of 10 or 20 milliamps. I think you'd start to have trouble. And if they had, higher VGS pinch-off voltages like 6 or 8 volts, some of them do, then, well, you couldn't test it there either because that can't generate more than like 4.5 volts or so, really. So, at the end of the day, I just wanted to point that out. Like this JFET in particular, because of its wattage and stuff, you can't even use it at its pinch-off voltage. It'll fry. So you can't use it as a constant current source, but this is a switching JFET, and so that's the difference. That if you wanted to use it as an amplifier, for example, you couldn't run it anywhere near that maximum current. And this thing, just like a bipolar transistor, is capable of self-destructing from the standpoint if you have some kind of circuit problem or whatever. Yeah, I mean, this could end up sucking down too much current, at a DC level or whatnot, and just cook itself. Um, so at the end of the day, it just shows that you got a lot of different JFETs out there, and you got to be cognizant of that. Particularly JFETs like this, switching JFETs are the most commonly available, evidently, these days. But yeah, this really isn't the greatest thing to use as an amplifier. But you know, you gotta run it real carefully because you'd have to run it close to pinch off. And that's typically a pretty non-linear little area that you wouldn't want to typically run it in. You get way less transconductance out of it. I don't even know what the transconductance on this technically is because they don't actually specify maximum or minimum values in the data sheet for it. But at any rate, I just wanted to kind of point that out. Cheers.